Hi, I'm Irene Williamson. I'm a lecturer at Shetland UHI. I've was taken on in part of the merger because I was part of Train Shetland and came over to UHI. I have been involved in education since leaving university, and I did a teaching postgraduate in teaching. So I'm a history and modern studies teacher, but I'm not doing that anymore. At the college, I do a lot of short courses from health and safety to food hygiene. Currently, I'm doing the delivering part of the N6 in hospitality, doing the food hygiene and the customer care. And I'm also doing the N5 mental health and wellbeing award. And I do a variety of other, as I say, different like short courses. But this week it was manual handling and customer care, and it can vary depending what industries in Shetland are looking for. I just, as I say, at the moment we're part of the college sector is part of a restructuring process, and Shetland needs to apparently lose 1.2 million. It's quite shocking. I just feel that colleges are so important. They're so important to the fabric of society, and I think that 1.2 million at the moment they're proposing to lose a whole department, communities and business. In business, that would take away so many courses. The proposal is accountancy would go, you wouldn't be able to do it face to face in Shetland. Business, you wouldn't be able to do face to face, and that's all levels of business, whether it be an SVQ or whether you do an HNC, you wouldn't be able to do that face to face in Shetland. Yes, you could join to another college, but you wouldn't have that face-to-face time and contact, which I feel is so important and makes our colleges unique and different. I do feel that colleges are being really underfunded at the moment. We're the only sector, the only part of the public sector that hasn't had an inflation pay rise, and that's been going on for 2021. I know for us, people might think, oh, you're well paid, but you need to attract the best to come in, and it's such an important job. And I feel to me, why I do this job is I want to give back. I see the benefits of learning, and when people, as I say, come in the doors and they learn, where it can take them, it gives them opportunity, it gives them choice, it takes people out of poverty, it gives people confidence. And usually, as I say, I don't know why at the moment the Scottish Executive is not wanting to fund FE, why they don't see vocational education and SVQs as good as academic, as the higher education, because I think you need both, and I don't think one's more important than the other. I think we should be investing in education across the board, because it is society's greatest equaliser. It's what makes the difference. It allows people to go on and create their own businesses coming from college, or to go into good employment. I just feel we're being kind of neglected. In Shetland, as I said, with the merger, I'm so against what they did in Shetland. They made us the only private college in the whole of Scotland. They say we're a charity, but we're based as a private business. I do not think education should be run as a business. I think it's an investment. It's a long-term investment. And I think if you invest in education, you'll have far better services, you will have the economy will prosper, there'll be far less poverty, far less mental health. I think if you put that money into education, the amount of money that comes back is far greater. If you read the Fraser and Allender survey that they did on the input to Scottish colleges, how much money it puts into the Scottish economy per pound that's put in, it's quite good reading. And I wish our Scottish Executive would read it and fund us properly, because you will get far more money back to fund all other projects if you invest in education. It pays down the line. I feel at the moment education is being forgotten as being, as I say, a driver for everything else to stop, as I say, the cost. Because if you don't fund education, and I don't want poverty to happen, don't get me wrong, and I don't want, as I say, any poverty. But at the moment, the Scottish exec saying we're trying to fight poverty in Scotland, and they've the childcare payment, which is all good and well. But what happens when that child gets to 16? They need a good education. They need a good, as I said, we talk about positive destinations. Well, the positive destination is getting, as I say, going to college, going to university, getting a good job. How do you get a good job? You get it through education. You get it through, as I say, colleges. And the sector, you can't get plumbers for love nor money. We should be investing more in that vocational, as I say, all parts of vocational businesses, hairdressing, everything. And it's as equal as going and doing a doctor, being a doctor or being doing history. We're either at university. But I do feel if we don't invest in education in colleges, rural colleges, we're going to lead to depopulation. I'm part of Shetland, I'm part of the Highlands and Islands. And we know a lot of the Highlands and Islands is being depopulated. Shetland actually, population is going down at the moment, though we have the biggest construction going on at the moment. And I fear if you do this restructuring in the college and you don't fund this properly, you're going to take a lot of young people out of Shetland. They're not going to come back. They're going to have to go away for their education. There's not going to be good jobs like the lecturing jobs I've had and other jobs for my kids to come back. And I do worry about my 4 boys, what's going to happen to them if they're going to have to leave their home like they had to do in the 60s and 70s in Shetland before we had oil. When we got oil, we did invest in our education, and we, as I say, tried to be more progressive, give people opportunities. And we have certainly the amount of different jobs you can do in Shetland has increased, but now I fear it's going to contract with a lack of support for education and for opportunities to happen within Shetland. I think it will go down. I think you'll have more poverty and more people with mental health issues, more isolation, and this will mean if they're not coming to the college and we're helping support and take people on and give them skills and give them confidence, this will fall onto the NHS in Shetland, which is already, as I said, in deficit, and to the SIC. And the SIC it says that it's needing to look at its funding. Well, if we're not funded properly, what we can't deal with will go on to you, and it will cost you, and it will. But worse still, it'll cost the people in Shetland and the communities in Shetland. It'll cost, as I say, opportunity, life achievements, and it will lead to depopulation. I don't want to see Shetland being a graveyard of people and full of windmills, and that's what seems to be happening. It seems a bit like I did history. I've always been took absolute great pride in being a product of Scottish education. When I did my education, and I'm going to show my age now, I did my O grades in the 80s, my hires in the 80s, and then I went to Strathclyde University. I had the choice. I went to Strathclyde University, and then I did my postgraduate education, Strathclyde. I did politics and history as my degree. And I look at it and I think I was so proud to be a product of Scottish education. Thatcher didn't destroy my education, though she destroyed a lot of other things in Scotland. However, I feel now with the SNP, the buck stops with you. You are our government. You need to fund education. You, as I say, blame everybody else. We're not getting enough money from England. It's Brexit. It's this. Well, I was in the. I said my aunts, my uncles got good education in Scotland, but they had to go away abroad. But as I said, there wasn't Brexit then, so you can't blame that fight because they had a good education. We didn't have Brexit when they had a good education. I just feel that education is so valuable to society, such a game changer. And if you really want to grow your economy, you want to stop poverty, you need to invest now in education. You have to stop passing the buck. Put the money into education. You're getting 300 million in Barnett consequentials. Give us the money we need to make sure that the college sector is secure and make sure that we have a future, and all the young people and older people want to reskill, people want to upskill. Anybody that wants education can have the chance to go to colleges, good colleges that are funded well, that have lecturing staff that want to make a difference to that person's life, want to help them succeed, as I say, want to get them to learn qualifications. It doesn't have to be a degree. We at colleges start opening the door to a short course, give people the confidence to learn, and they progress up. And that's what we want to see, that there's opportunities for all, everybody in Shetland, everybody in Scotland to, it doesn't matter if I, and it should be, and I wish it was like, if I got bored with my job, I could go back to college and do something, the funding would be there. Because wouldn't it be good if people had that opportunity to learn throughout their life? And you say the buzzword, you say lifelong learning, but you don't want to fund it, and that's the problem. And learning is for life, learning is for opportunity, learning is for, as I say, it's so important to our culture. And I go back to my history. Scotland, as I said, has always been great for education, and all parts of education is being underfunded. The college sector, the school sector, it needs to be funded better. We are failing at the moment. We're failing every part of society because we're not investing enough in education. Scotland had the best education, had the world-beating education. People came here to see how we do it. Now Finland is top in New Zealand. And who did they copy? The models they copied was for Scotland when we were funding it to the best of its ability. And that's what to me, you have the choice to make what you fund. And I plea for you today, if you want to grow Scotland's economy, you want to take people out of poverty, invest in education, because for every pound you spend, you'll get at least £8 back in investment, and you'll have far more money to then spend on other projects you want to spend it on, because education is education is a right, it's not a privilege. It's a right for everybody, and it is society's greatest equaliser.